Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another day of the Speakers Regional Youth Debating Competition. I am your moderator, Monet Garnet Christopher, and I am filling in for the beautiful Carlita Charles. It's a beautiful Friday morning here in Georgetown, and this is our 7th day of debates where we will introduce the groups from Region 9 and District 11. But first, let me introduce our judges. Our competent judges are Dr. Delon Fraser, Chief Judge. Dr. Fraser is a passionate servant leader and a state counsel by profession in the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions. He enjoys working on committees, especially those that deal with public speaking and law. He was awarded a doctorate in philosophy and acquired a Master of Business Administration degree, a Bachelor of Social Sciences degree in International Relations, a bachelor's degree in law, and a diploma in project management advanced level. Welcome, Dr. Fraser. Our second judge is Ms. Anisha Mohammed. Ms. Mohammed is an advocate for women's rights and is passionate about education and democratic rights and principles. She is serving as the director of the Guyana Learning Channel at the Ministry of Education. She also chairs the Board of Governors at the Westminster Secondary School and the Board of Directors at the National Library. With over 11 years of experience in privatized communication sector, Ms. Mohammed has held prominent roles, including Chief Executive Officer before transitioning to the public service in 2020. Welcome, Ms. Mohammed. Our third judge is Ms. Diane Henry. Ms. Henry is a trained teacher with certifications in English and mathematics. She's the holder of a Bachelor's of Arts degree in English. Additionally, she possesses a postgraduate diploma in education and certificates in English, management, and information technology. Notably, in 2024, Ms. Henry was conferred with a Master of Science degree in Education from Waldron University, acquiring a GPA of 4.0. Ms. Henry is an Assistant Supervisory Marker for English B, Literature, with the Caribbean Examinations Council and a Marker for Communication Studies at the Caribbean Advanced Proficiency level. Welcome to you, Ms. Henry. Let me turn your attention to our teams. The proposing team for this debate is the St. Robert Bellarmine Catholic Church Youth Group. The group brings together Catholic youths between the ages of 13 to 30 to grow in faith, service, community, and confidence. The purpose of the group is to encourage young people to not only get involved in their faith community through participation in Sunday services, but also to further themselves intellectually through higher education and leadership opportunities. Their first speaker is Miss Jill Lott, 21 years old from Aishalton Village, South Rupununi. Their second speaker is Mr. David Smith, 25 years old from Aishalton Village, South Rupununi. And their third speaker is Miss Colleen Winter, 16 years old from Aishalton Village, South Rupununi. The opposing team is Aishalton Secondary School Debate Club. The debate club was formally established in 2018 and has since been an invaluable asset to the school and South Rupununi. It has aided with the fostering of intellectual growth, enhancement of public speaking, research skills, and communication skills. Over the years, the club has nurtured students into leadership, academic excellence, and prestige through participation in regional and national competitions. Most noteworthy are the Agriculture Month Impromptu Debate competitions, JOF Ains competition, and now the Speakers Youth Debating competition. The debate club comprises of students from all 9 communities of the Deep South Rupununi. Competing this year are grade 9 students whose first languages include Wapichan and YY. But they will present in English, showcasing their diverse linguistic skills, bravery, and resilience of the Rupununi people. Their first speaker is Miss Flavia Joseph, 14 years old from Paradarno Village, South Rupununi. Their second speaker is Mr. Rick Stevens, 14 years old from Caradarno Village, South Rupununi. And their third speaker is Mr. Nathan Charlie, 14 years old from Kunashen Village, South Rupununi. The mood for today's debate is no school-age child should have a social media account. No school-age child should have a social media account. I now declare this debate open. And I'd like to call on the first speaker of the proposing team, Ms. Gia Lord, to make her presentation. Ms. Lord? Ms. Lord? Go ahead.
Honorable judges, worthy opponents, and audience, I am Jill Lord, and today I stand in strong support of the moot. No school-age child should have a social media account. First, let me define key terms in today's moot. According to the Merriam-Webster dictionary, no is used to give a negative answer or reply. School age refers to old enough to go to school, and the United Nations defines a child as anyone under the age of 18. Cambridge Dictionary defines should as used to indicate what is the proper reasonable or best thing to do. Finally, social media refers to a personal profile created on platforms that enable users to create and share content or participate in social networking. Audience all, social media is designed to be addictive, constantly pulling children away from their education, responsibilities, and personal growth. If we want to secure the future for the next generation, we must ensure that school-age children remain free from its harmful distractions. Instead of engaging in productive learning, children are constantly bombarded with digital temptations, keeping them from concentrating in class, completing homework, and even developing healthy study habits. Imagine a world where our children's minds are flooded with notifications, likes, and endless scrolling. This is the reality for many school-age children today, as social media platforms have become integral to their daily lives, not merely as tools for connection, but as meticulously engineered systems designed to captivate and retain users' attention. According to an online article published in the Journal of Behavioral Addiction on January 8, 2025, I quote, social media platforms exploit the brain's reward system by triggering dopamine release, leading to addictive behavior. Dear opposition, education is a top priority, but social media has transformed schools into battlegrounds for attention. Instead of absorbing information, many students are mentally planning their next post, thinking about online conversations, or anxiously waiting for notifications. Furthermore, the mere presence of a smartphone on a desk reduced concentration. A 2017 study published in the Journal of the Association for Consumer Research found that even when a phone is not in use, its presence decreases cognitive capacity. In other words, a student may not be actively using their phone, but their brain is still distracted by the possibility of checking it. If a student cannot fully concentrate on a lesson, how can they grasp complex concepts? How can they develop critical thinking skills if their attention is divided between the classroom and the digital world? The answer is simple. They cannot. A school-age child could have a device to benefit his or her learning through educational apps such as Coursera or Khan Academy, but not social media. By creating an academic environment free from digital distractions, students can fully engage with their lessons and develop essential cognitive skills. Secondly, the battle against distractions does not end in the classroom. It follows students home. Homework, which should take an hour to complete, often takes 3 times as long due to constant interruptions from social media. Apps like TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube are designed to keep users engaged for as long as possible. The infinite scroll feature means that there is no natural stopping point. One video leads to another, one post to the next, and suddenly hours are lost. When a child returns to their work, their focus is gone, their mind is scattered, and they struggle to regain momentum. Even at a glance at the device can derail a train of thought. A 2008 study done at the University of California, Irvine, shows that the brain takes over 25 minutes to refocus on its task after a distraction. This means that with social media, the greatest distraction right at our students' fingertips, their study time or even time spent on other tasks may never fully be focused. Ladies and gentlemen, there are numerous ways to engage students and empower them to succeed academically and socially without social media. Let us choose learning over likes, focus over followers, and success over scrolling. The future of our children depends on it. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Lord. I'll now call on the first speaker of the opposing team, Ms. Flavia Joseph, to make her presentation.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you now.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Esteemed judges and online audience, I, Flavia Joseph, first speaker of the opposition, rise to refute the moot, and I quote, "No school-age child should have a social media account," unquote. My team and I will approach this moot into 3 perspectives. I will enlighten you from the social and education aspect. My second speaker, Rick Steven, will highlight how being tech-savvy benefits school children. And my third speaker, Nathan Charlie, will use an economic perspective to refute the moot. Allow me to define my key terms of the moot. According to vocabulary.com, no is the ultimate negative response used to express dissent. Merriam-Webster.com defines school age as individuals typically of ages 5 to 16 years who are required by law in Guyana to attend formal institutions of learning. Oxford.com defines should as to indicate correct course of action. Merriam-Webster also defines social media a form of electronic communication through websites and applications that enable users to create and share information, ideas, messages, and content. Cambridge.com defines an account as a personal online profile linked to email or phone number to use internet services and platforms. We, the opposition, therefore understand the move to mean that no child between the ages of 2 to 16 should own a personal social media profile. Esteemed judges and members of the proposition, there are immense positive social and educational benefits of children who have social media accounts versus those who don't. However, we believe that children's protection is paramount. We further stress that we will not encourage disrespect to parents by assuming that their consent and involvement in their children's social media experience is lacking. Since many social media apps have built-in privacy settings that allows parents to track time spent online, set usage limits, and ensure that their child interactions are age appropriate. Esteemed judges and members of the proposition, having a personal social media account can provide school children with several social and educational benefits as long as it is used responsibly and under appropriate supervision. Firstly, social media gives access to learning resources. Many educational groups, ages, and forums provide valuable information, tutorials, and study materials. Two excellent examples are the ongoing NGSA practice lessons with Mr. Paris and CSEC online lessons with Sir Beaton. These are on Zoom, Google Classroom, YouTube, and Facebook, apart from the quiz me that prepares CSEC students to mathematics paper 1. Furthermore, YouTube and other apps provide a wealth of educational resources designed to support special education needs and students, makes learning fun and effectively complement traditional classroom instruction. Ponder this. As of 2023, there were 389,000 educational in English apps available on Google Play Store and Apple App Store. Esteemed judges and members of the proposition, social media promotes creativity. How can we deny our children the opportunity to enhance their creative instincts through platforms like YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram, to express themselves through writing, art videos, and other creative content? Some are even monetized, as our third speaker will explain. Social media provides opportunities for learning beyond the classroom. Think of the many WhatsApp groups that are functioning. Many teachers and educational institutions use social media to share insights, assignments, and extracurricular learning materials. Parents therefore find it useful to create separate social media accounts on their children's devices for their educational games and activities. This means they can monitor without having the children gaining access to parents' personal work, email, or phone. Esteemed judges and members of the proposition, a 5-year study from the University of South Florida, 2024, found that children who own smartphones with access to social media reported better well-being than those who do not. They were less likely to experience depression and anxiety and more likely to spend time in person with friends. Social media allows children to express their thoughts, engage in discussions, and interact with peers, helping them develop communication skills. Sharing their thoughts and achievements online can boost self-esteem and, when done in supportive environments, this supports confidence building and high self-esteem in young people, according to Midwestern University, Texas, 2022. Social interaction, especially being able to stay connected with friends and family, even those who live far away, fosters a sense of belonging and emotional support. Contrary to popular beliefs, stronger social connections combats anxiety and depression in children. This is according to Wilkinson 2023 of the New York Academy of Science. Esteemed judges and members of the proposition, social media provides culture education. The U.S. government, CDC, 2023, found that children who are exposed to diverse perspectives, especially through interacting with people from different backgrounds, helps broaden their worldview, teaching tolerance and empathy. Social and cultural connections are especially important to mental and physical health and guards against illness and diseases. Esteemed judges and members of the proposition, in closing, collaboration among children for positive purposes are indispensable. Platforms like group chats, forums, and collaborative projects encourage teamwork and cooperation in both social and academic contexts. Social media, when introduced at any age with proper monitoring, can serve as an educational tool and a platform for personal growth, preparing school children for future responsibilities and navigating the ever evolving digital world. In conclusion, I firmly stand refuting the myth, and I quote, no school age child should have a social media account. Thank you.
You, Ms. Joseph. I'll now call on the second speaker of the proposing team, Mr. David Smith, to make his presentation.
Honorable judges and members,
Go ahead.
honorable judges and members of the opposition, good morning. As the second speaker for the proposition, I stand to further my team's argument in favor of the move. No school-age child should have a social media account. First, let me remind everyone that we are discussing school-age children. This is not a debate about the merits of social media, but rather an analysis of how it negatively affects young people. Allow me to highlight the extreme dangers on social media for children's health, identity, and social life. Growing evidence confirms that social media poses significant risk to a child's overall well-being. 2014 article by Harvard Medical School confirmed that adolescents' prefrontal cortex, responsible for reason, long-term planning, and impulse control, does not fully develop until age 25. This means young people are highly impressionable and cannot consistently make responsible decisions. Giving a child access to social media in this vulnerable state exposes them to harmful influences that can impact their identity, development, and future. Another 2023 study by the U.S. Center for Disease Control demonstrated a clear link between social media use and increased feeling of sadness, hopelessness, and suicide risk. Similarly, a 2019 JAMA Psychiatry paper found that 3 hours daily on social media nearly doubles the risk of developing anxiety or depression. This is not surprising. Adolescents want approval and encouragement, yet they are bombarded by unrealistic portrayals of life, leading to feelings of inadequacy and low self-esteem. Worse still, social media is designed to be addictive, trapping children in a cycle where they crave the very thing that is destroying them. Imagine asking a child to eat cake for breakfast every day. Would you allow it? Of course not. You know it's unhealthy. So why then would we allow children to access something that can destroy their mental health and self-worth? Social media fosters an environment of relentless harassment. Unlike traditional bullying, cyberbullying follows children home, stripping them of any safe space. The result: social isolation, fear, and deep emotional scars. By engaging in harmful online behaviors, children fail to develop crucial skills like empathy, conflict resolution, and emotional intelligence. Social media does not teach real-life social interaction. Digital connections cannot replace genuine human relationship, and when children only engage through a screen, they cannot form meaningful connections. If we continue this trend, we will raise a generation of unprepared adults for the real world. These risks are also physical. The Guyana Chronicle in 2024 cites head ophthalmologist of GPHC, Dr. Shailendra Sugrim, who confirms that blue light exposures from devices disrupt sleep cycles, leading to increased stress, cardiac problems, and hypertension. While some argue these risks exist with any technology used, let's be honest. What do children stay up all night doing on their phones? The greatest risk does not come from within. It comes from external threats. Social media exposes children to a world of predators. Many young users overshare personal information, making them prime targets for cyber grooming. Strangers disguise themselves as trustworthy confidants, preying on children's need for connection. Once trust is gained, these criminals can manipulate, coerce, or even exploit our children. Children will suffer in silence from something preventable. Is this virtual environment safe for our youth? Ladies and gentlemen, the evidence is clear. Social media is designed for adults and completely ill-suited for the developing minds of children. For their well-being, we must advocate a childhood free from the harmful influence of social media. Thank you.
Mr. Smith, I'll now call on the second speaker of the opposing team, Mr. Rick Stevens, to make his presentation. Go ahead, please.
Honorable judges, member of the proposition, audience all, good morning. I, Rick Stephen, will formally oppose the moot. No school-age child should have a social media account. It will be my privilege to show you that being technologically savvy benefits all school-age children who maintain a personal social media account. Member of the proposition, imagine having today's debate without social media, like Zoom and Facebook. The physical logistics of this will include travel and expense worth thousands of dollars. Honorable judges, the proposition may argue that denying school-age children social media account may save them from dangers, but consider this being overprotective and blocking from children from social media will cause them to experience Rip Van Winkle avatar, where when they are finally exposed, the technology would seem like awakening from 100-year sleep. Technology is fast, ever pervasive, so we should train our children to fully utilize its impact through guided use of social media. Honorable judges, member of the proposition, according to learning.com 2023, social media requires and enhances digital literacy. Children learn to navigate social media using essential digital skills like online etiquette, fact-checking, and media literacy. Our netizen today's children are born to be digitally literate. A good example is when we try to answer this question. How can a preschool 15-month child who cannot read, write, or spell find Cocomelon on YouTube? Think about this for a second. Being tech savvy is the most convented set of skills, from knowing about computers, artificial intelligence, and automated systems. Our children are equipped of these times. However, we still need to convince the proposition that having a social media account equates to more than just playing games on a device. There are marketable life skills come from digital and informational literacy. Services are quickly going online. Digital tools for learning ensure that children make valuable use of important information online or offline. Apps, games, and videos can enhance student engagement. Esteemed judges, member of the proposition, the UNESCO Digital Library or advocates for students to have their own account when learning new skills, coding, so that their achievement can leave a digital footprint for future references. Achievement can be stored and celebrated in ways that track progress and show gaps in learning. Self-improvement, therefore, makes the learner independent and a critical thinker. According to NobelDeskScope.com, social media has potential for career awareness and networking. Students can explore career options, follow industry professionals, and learn about different fields through platforms like on Twitter. Social media increases job opportunities, especially in the professional context, such as meetings, job opportunities, presentations, marketing, and businesses. So why not introduce children early so they have a head start in life? Social media opens internship and scholarship opportunities. Many companies and organizations post opportunities for students on social media, helping them find internship and scholarship. In closing, we definitely disagree with the move. No school age child should have a social media account. I rest my case.
Thank you, Mr. Stevens. I'll now call on the third speaker of the proposing team, Ms. Colleen Winter, to make her presentation.
Audience all, good morning. I, Colleen Winter, third speaker of the proposition, stand strongly to affirm to today's mood, I quote, no school-age child should have a social media account. End of quote. Let us reflect on the compelling arguments presented by my teammates. Our first speaker established how social media distracts school-age children. Our second speaker elaborated on the severe dangers associated with social media. As the third speaker, I will summarize my key points and refute any misconceptions put forth by the opposition. The opposition may argue that with proper parental guidance, children can safely navigate social media. But even the most vigilant parents cannot monitor their children's online activities 24/7. The pervasive nature of social media exposes the children to harmful content, including inappropriate material and online predators. Take, for example, the recent Kaiser News article about a 12-year-old female kidnapped and raped by a 25-year-old Barbies man. A girl reportedly communicated with the man through TikTok and WhatsApp messages with her aunt's phone. Even so, her guardians were unable to regulate the inappropriate social media used to protect the child from exploitation. The cautionary tale underscores the extreme challenges parents face in shielding their children from such determinal influences and children's inability to understand these risks. Without social media, this would not have happened. Furthermore, while social media can offer educational resources, these risks overweight the benefits. A Jamaica Observer article reported that 64% of the respondents felt the need to take mental health breaks from social media due to its overwhelming nature. Any potential academic benefits are frequently overshadowed by these platforms' negative effects on children's well-being. The government of Guyana recognizes that technology is essential and has begun installing ICT hubs through its hinterland, with the purpose of enhancing digital literacy and infrastructure. But instead of learning or downloading CSEC papers as intended throughout Region 9, you can find young people sitting by the government Wi-Fi hubs at all hours of the night, scrolling Instagram, messaging on WhatsApp, putting their sleep and safety at risk. We must ensure that when children do engage with technology, it's in a structural and educational manner rather than through unregulated social media platforms. The exposure to inappropriate content on these sites are related to drugs, alcohol, and pornography that erode the values that we strive to instill in our children and having a negative long-term effect on their success. Smart opposition. Is the fleeting gratification of social media worth the consequences on our children's mental health and moral compass? As a C-sex student, I can personally attest to the truth behind these findings. Many of my classmates, they have lost focus on their studies due to excessive usage of social media. I have witnessed firsthand how many students struggle with self-esteem issues due to the unrealistic beauty standards set by the influencers. Additionally, I have seen students become indifferent to the world around them as they are consumed by mindless scrolling. Most esteemed judges, while technology is an integral part of our evolving world, it is so imperative to protect us, the school-age children, from the potential harms of social media. By prioritizing our mental health, academic success, and moral development, we are investing in a brighter, more secure future for ourselves. I urge you to consider these points and support the proposition that no school-age child should have a social media account. Thank you.
Winter, I now call on the third speaker of the opposing team, Mr. Nathan Charlie, to make his presentation.
All protocols observed. I, Nathan Charlie, third speaker of the opposition, will convince you that social media can bring anyone, including school-age children, out of the depth of poverty and into financial stability. We disagree with the moot, quote, no school-age child should have a social media account, unquote. Honorable judges and members of the proposition, today's moot highlights the economic benefits that social media can bring for children. Social media is not merely a distraction, but a gateway to financial literacy, entrepreneurial skills, and economic empowerment. Honorable judges and members of the proposition, research conducted by the Pew Research Center 2023 shows that nearly 54% of teenagers in the US use social media to promote their creative content, art, writing, or digital media. Platforms such as YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok have created young millionaires. How many of us know little Guyanese, Tion, who is famous on Facebook and TikTok? His cute personality and even wisdom makes him a content creator and a brand ambassador. Honorable judges and members of the proposition, according to a study in Journal of Youth and Adolescents 2022, many young influencers and entrepreneurs learn about financial planning, budgeting, and investing at an early age through their earnings on social media. Honorable judges and members of the proposition, an Oxford University 2021 study found that children who engage with social media development problem-solving skills and adaptability, two crucial skills for future job markets. Moreover, internships, sponsorships, and professional networking opportunities are now available to younger individuals. Why should we deny our children financial opportunity using their age as an excuse? Honorable judges and members of the proposition, a report by Market Research Future found that the economic influence of young Gen Z impact consumer trends. Platforms like TikTok's Creator Fund and Instagram monetization features enable creators to earn passive income. Did you know that some apps pay you to view their content and like and share no matter what age you may be? Distinguished judges and propositions, according to Business Insider, state that social media can provide streams of income. The question is therefore asked, are we to refuse our school-age child the opportunity to social media, which can bring in an income to assist the family? Social media provides entrepreneurial ventures, promote financial literacy, and shape market trends. Social media offers young users an opportunity for economic growth and independence. Instead of restricting access, we should guide children in leveraging these platforms, ensuring they gain not entertainment but real-world economic advantages. For these reasons, we strongly refute the moot. No school-age child should have a social media account. Thank you.
Nathan, we'll now allow the teams 5 minutes to prepare their rebuttals. I now ask Mr. Yannick December, the Public Relations Officer of the Parliament Office, to present the rules of the debating competition. Yannick?
Thank you, Madam Moderator. The rules of the Speaker's Regional Youth Debating Competition 2025 are as follows. Participants must be present at least 10 minutes before the commencement of the debate. Lateness without reasonable cause will result in automatic disqualification. Each team should consist of 3 substantive debaters and at least 1 alternate debater. Once a team has started the competition, no member shall be replaced. Notice of the unavailability of a member or alternate must be communicated to the Parliament Office at least 48 hours before the team's scheduled debate. Failure to comply may result in the disqualification of the team. Each team must indicate its first, second, and third speakers at least 48 hours before the commencement of the debate. The first speaker will be the first speaker of the proposition, followed by the first speaker of the opposition, and shall alternate in this order. The time allotted to each speaker will be as follows. First speaker, 5 minutes. Second speaker, 4 minutes. Third speaker, 4 minutes. And for the rebuttal, 5 minutes. The rebuttal will be done by only the first speaker on each team. No new arguments or materials should be introduced into the rebuttal. Failure to adhere to this rule will result in the deduction of 10 points. A bell will be rung first to indicate that the speaker should commence his or her presentation. The second bell will indicate that 1 minute is remaining, and there will be a final bell when the time has elapsed. 5 points will be deducted from each speaker who does not adhere to the allotted time. In the event of technical difficulties, a speaker may be allotted additional time. This is at the discretion of the judges. Speakers may refer to notes but should not read them. 5 points will be deducted from any speaker who reads a prepared speech. Points will be awarded for reasoning and logic, originality, relevance, mechanics, articulation, attitude towards opponent, development of argument, and cohesiveness. And finally, the judges' decisions are final. Those are the rules of the Speakers Regional Youth Debating Competition 2025. To all participating teams, I say, go to your destiny. Thank you, Madam Moderator.
Thank you, Yannick. As a reminder, we're here every Tuesday and Friday at 9:30 a.m., 11 a.m., and 2 p.m. to give our young people across our beautiful nation an opportunity to represent their groups and regions in showcasing their talents in debating topical issues in our society. The winning teams from this competition will move on to the fifth Speakers National Youth Debating Competition, which will immediately follow this regional competition. And thereafter, winners will emerge to one of the most anticipated events out of this office, the Youth Parliament. This year, we'll be hosting the 10th Annual Youth Parliament. Now, with this being the only debate coming out of Region 9, the winning group will secure its spot in the national leg of the competition. In the interim, let me remind you about our judges. Dr. Fraser has judged many debates locally and internationally. He is a distinguished Toastmaster and continues to serve in many leadership roles. Dr. Fraser is the holder of a Franklin Covey Facilitator, Global Peace Ambassador, Global Shaper, and has been accredited the status of Peace Ambassador to the UN. Dr. Fraser, upon his completion of the Junior Officers course, was selected as a valedictorian of that cohort. In addition, he was recently promoted to the rank of Superintendent of Police. Miss Diane Henry. Miss Henry volunteers at Queen's College Old Students Association, local and overseas chapters. Miss Henry enjoys working with young people, hence she supervises several clubs at Queen's College, including chess, STEM, and volleyball. Miss Henry hails from Essequibo Coast and is a Seventh-day Adventist. Miss Henry is involved in judging our church Bible memorization club and is also a judge for the JOF Haynes debating competition. Miss Henry is a lover of books, which created an incentive for her entry into the National Library Reading Competition, where she won the competition twice. Miss Diane Henry is a graduate senior mistress at Queen's College, where she teaches English A, English B, and Communication Studies. We'll now move to the rebuttals. I'd like to call on the first speaker of the opposing team, Ms. Flavia Joseph, to present her rebuttal. Ms. Flavia?
Ready?
You can go ahead, please.
Okay. Honorable judges and online audience, I rise once again. My opponents has presented their argument, but it's crucial to examine it slowly. While I do respect the points they've raised, there are several aspects of their argument that need to be addressed. Now I will address each of these issues and demonstrate why our position is ultimately stronger. Ladies and gentlemen, the first speaker stated that students on social media doesn't only distract from school, but also from home. However, this point overlooks several crucial factors. As I stated, parents find it useful to create a separate social media account to monitor their child's interaction are age appropriate. The first speaker of the opposing team also states that school-age children are also being distracted from education. As I stated in my speech, the monitoring of social media account can provide school children with several social and educational benefits as long it is used responsibly and under appropriate supervision. The second speaker stated that school-age children has addictive behaviors and sleep disruptions. As stated in my speech, many social media apps have built-in privacy settings that allows parents to track time spent online and set usage limits. Also, the third speaker stated that drunk people use social media. We are talking about school children, not drunk people on social media. The compulsory of ages of 5 and to 16 years, with primary school lasting 6 years and secondary school typically spanning 3 years for lower secondary and 2 upper secondary schools. Honorable judges, it seems that the proposition has misunderstood the mood. We are talking about school-age children, not drunkards, as their third speaker stated. Members of the proposition, your third speaker spoke of mindless scrolling, but she did not yet hear of monetization benefits that social media brings that our third speaker highlighted. The second speaker stated that the mental impact on social media can affect school-age children. As I stated in my speech, social media provides culture education. The U.S. government CDC in 2023 states that children who are exposed to diverse perspectives, especially through interacting with different backgrounds, helps broaden their worldview. Also for the mental and physical health and guards against illness and diseases. Thank you.
Joseph, I'd now like to call on Ms. Jaya Lord from the proposing team to present her rebuttals. Ms. Lord?
Esteemed judges, respected opponents, and my fellow debaters, I once more stand to strongly support the moot no school-age child should have a social media account. I will systematically refute the claims made by the opposition. While the opposition have argued that social media has benefits such as education, communication, creativity, I will prove that these benefits do not outweigh the serious risks. Social media is not a necessity for children. It is a dangerous distraction, a platform for exploitation, and a threat to their mental and emotional well-being. Members of the opposition, I must remind you that this debate is not about the merits of social media, but rather an analysis of how it negatively affects young people, more specifically school-age children. The first speaker of the opposition stated, I quote, social media provides educational opportunities, end of quote. Esteemed judges and audience, the opposition argues that social media provides access to educational content. However, this is a misleading justification. Social media is not an educational platform. It is a distraction machine. Instead of engaging with educational content, children spend hours scrolling through entertainment, viral trends, and irrelevant content. A real education requires focus, discipline, and structured learning, not fragmented knowledge gathered between TikTok videos. A 2017 study from the Journal of Association for Consumer Research found that merely having a phone present reduces cognitive capacity. How can students absorb complex concepts when social media constantly disrupts their focus? The first speaker of the opposition stated, students gain a sense of belonging through social media. However, honorable judges and worthy opponents, social media does not teach real-life social interaction. My second speaker stated, I quote, digital connections cannot replace genuine human relationships. And when children only engage through a screen, they cannot form meaningful connections. If we continue this trend, we will raise a generation of young adults unprepared for the real world. The first speaker of the opposition highlighted parental supervision. However, my third speaker stated, I quote, even the most vigilant parents cannot monitor their children's online activities 24/7. The persuasive nature of social media exposes children to harmful content. The first speaker also stated social media improves creativity. But does it really? Instead of fostering genuine creativity, social media promotes imitation. Trends dictate to children what to create instead of their original thoughts. They are pressured to conform to viral challenges, dances, and unrealistic beauty standards. Real creativity thrives when children engage in hands-on activities. The opposition also stated children can explore future careers. The opposition suggests that early social media exposure helps children prepare for future careers. This is an absurd argument. Most careers do not require children to have personal social media accounts. Instead, they require discipline, focus, and professional skills, qualities that social media actively erodes. Honorable judges, the opposition has tried to paint social media as a beneficial tool, but they have ignored the overwhelming danger it poses to young minds. We must protect our children by keeping them off social media until they are mature and responsible enough to handle it. For these reasons, I firmly stand by the motion that no school-age child should have a social media account. Let us choose learning over likes, focus over followers, and success over scrolling. Thank you.
Lord, there you had rebuttals and presentations. While the judges tally their scores, I'll now like to recognize our online audience, and some of those persons have been with us since the commencement of the Speakers National Youth Debating Competition in 2020. I'd like to recognize Mr. Paul Ramkistoon, who's online with us. Thank you for joining. Ms. Jacqueline Harsham, one of our very own here at the Parliament Office. Thank you for tuning in too. Mr. Gavin Thomas is on with us as well. Mr. Kishan Sugrim. Mr. Stefan Gabriel is here with us too. Ms. Sonia Omar Prasad is online with us too this morning. Thank you for joining us. Ms. Kiara Jack, she's here too with us. Mr. Nika Anton, thank you for joining us. Miss Johnson Narain is also online with us. I noticed my sister is online too, Sean Venture. Miss Keisha Alexander is online with us too. Thank you for joining us. Miss Damian Gordon, Miss Sharon Polasar, and Miss Manisha Saga there is here with us. I also noticed Miss Charles, the beautiful Miss Charles is online with us. Thank you for joining us, even though you're away on official duties. The judges are ready. Judges, are you ready? The judges are ready. I'll first like to invite Judge Henry to make her comments. Judge Henry, over to you. Good morning, everyone. And I would like to commend both teams for putting up quite a show. I would like to say that debate is about research. And what was commendable about both teams was that they did do some research. And that was very, very good. However, one team was able to use a lot of really credible sources that I found helped their debate. So that is commendable. In addition to that, when you're doing debates, and both teams try to do that, with one team doing better than another. Now, the first thing that you need to do is to look at the terms that are used and define them, and then outline your team's argument, and then also restate the moot. And so it is very easy for us to follow what you're saying if you're able to do that. And we had one team actually doing all of the things that I just said, and another team not doing that. We have some problems with pronunciation, so you need to work on your pronunciation. And we had a serious problem with actually knowing what the third speaker would have to do, which is to wrap up the team's argument. And I don't think any of the third speaker actually wrapped up the team's argument properly. You need to look back at what each member in your team did and then do that. All in all, I know it's not very easy to do a debate. And I would like to compliment both teams for doing a fair job with the rebuttal. Oftentimes, we have persons who are not able to rebut. Although one team concentrated quite a lot on the first speaker rather than trying to listen to the argument of all the speakers. So, all in all, a fair job. Thank you very much. Thank you, Judge Henry. I'll now ask Judge Mohammed to make some comments. Judge Mohammed.
Good morning. All right. First, I'd like to point out something that I was very impressed at seeing and quite pleased, to be honest, which is two groups from Region 9 being able to actually debate and have proper facilities and good internet that was undisrupted throughout the competition, and that by itself deserves an applause. We've come a far way in having equal access, and I see the group from Shelton was presenting from a smart classroom on their blackboard. There behind them was a smart board that actually had a really nice back, and those are things that we tend to overlook. And I know planning and proper management of those things comes into play when you have to present at this level. So good job to the team that prepared both teams today for the debate in terms of the internet and the overall look for presenting today. Today's debate was an interesting topic. One thing I was a bit disappointed with, and I think we need clarity on, is differentiating between what is an app and what is social media. I think both teams from time to time sort of strayed from exactly what social media entails. Social media is basically when users have an input or they can user-generated content. In certain educational app, I know one team pointed out that there were over 3,000 apps available, and they sort of relayed that as if that was social media for literature. Once you cannot engage or have user-generated content, things like TikTok is social media. YouTube is somewhat, to an extent, considered social media. Zoom is not social media. It's a video conferencing app, and it's used mostly on professional setting. So very, very important if you're presenting an argument that no school aged child should have access to social media or have a social media account, you should be able to first differentiate what is social media and what are apps. But good presentation from both teams today. I'd like to urge you to desist from reading and also practice your speech when you're about to present, because even if you get help in preparing a speech, it's very important to go through that, ensure that you understand it and can be able to articulate and speak on it fluently. So may the best team move forward and good luck to everyone.
Thank you, Judge Mohammed. I'll now call on Dr. Fraser, our Chief Judge, to make some comments and announce the winners. Dr. Fraser.
Grateful, please, Madam Moderator, and I concur with my fellow judges that I thought that this morning's debate was a very good one. We looked forward because even before the debate started, we were throwing around ideas as to how we can tackle the mood. And indeed, we did saw one team doing a very good job at defining the key terms. But what I wanted or what I expected a bit more was for them to define it even better. So for instance, when we talk about social media and social media account, what do we mean? And to strengthen this, they could have also used examples. So at least those persons who are listening could be able to follow their arguments from the beginning. Notwithstanding, I saw that there were signs of research from both teams. We saw that they had structure in their arguments, albeit the fact that one team did not state what the first and second and third speaker will be looking at, but we were able to pick it up a little from their standpoint in their arguments as they went on to develop them. We also thought that they were limited use of course, speaking space, as most persons were held on to a piece of script or held on to the lectern. I would encourage persons who are debating. Debating is not just about your orals, but it's also about your body language. And so I would expect that the next time you come, you would be able to present to us so we can see both the verbal and the nonverbal communication happening so as to persuade us as judges. And further, they had quite a bit of reading. It's okay to have your materials, Madam Moderator, but it's also okay for you to present, not necessarily read the materials. The materials will just be there to strike your main points so that you can be on track and to have a smooth flow with respect to your arguments. Notwithstanding, I thought that both teams again deserve another round of applause for coming here this morning and putting on an excellent show for us. So it is now time for me to present the scores. Madam Moderator, the scores difference between the team that will be advancing is a mere 6 points. 6 points. We have one team scoring 188. Oh my, I miscalculated. Sorry. It's not 6, but rather 16 points difference. We had one team scoring 172, while another team scoring 188. This morning's team that will be advancing to the next round will be none other than the proposition, who would have scored 188. For the best speaker, and without a doubt, this was unanimous. When we heard the third speaker of the opposition, we couldn't help but to give it to him because his presentation had coherence, it had structure, and we were able to follow his arguments. So the best speaker title goes to Mr. Charlie. Mr. Charles. Yeah, Nathan Charlie. So without any further, Madam Moderator, on behalf of the judges, we thank you all for the opportunity and we do look forward to hearing the teams as they advance in this debate.
Congratulations to both teams. Congratulations to the winners and the best debater. Join us again shortly at 11:15 for our next debate. Goodbye for now.